Now, this is not going to be about my introduction into gaming or what specific games are my favorites of all time, but I want to give a bit of history before I get my thoughts across on the topic. So, I remember the first time I ever saw or heard of a video game, and that game was Resident Evil 3 for the PS1. Of course, I was too young and scared to play it, so I sat back and watched my older brother play it instead. I also remember vividly holding the physical copy and thinking Nemesis looked cool as hell, and turning the case around, I was greeted to Jill just standing there stoically and looking determined. From that day forward, I so badly wanted to buy every single game that was behind the glass case at Walmart and at my local gaming shops. But again, I was too young and had zero money, and child labor is illegal here in the States, because otherwise I would have gone to work in a heartbeat if it meant buying all these games and building that collection. The game cases were the drawing for me with video games, and just having that physical copy was the equivalent of having a set of rare holographic Pokemon cards that all the kids went crazy over during that time. From the cover art to the back of the box that shows even more art and a brief synopsis of the story and a slogan. Opening it up, you get an instructional manual that gave tips and tricks and sometimes even more story to the game. The old GTA games and even GTA 5 give you a physical map, the same exact map that you have to navigate throughout the entire game. It was just awesome, and with every new purchase, it felt special. Now to the topic at hand here. We all have heard about the nefarious evil doing Sony announced at the beginning of July, and it was met with very harsh criticisms and outrage, and rightfully so. Cause let's be real here, for Sony to go this route is a grand display of greed, because they will get more of the profits from each game sold on their virtual marketplace. And because they have no competition like PC gaming does, where sites like G2A and AllKeyshop, for example, have to in order to compete with Steam to earn your money. But ultimately, at the end of the day, taking away the option for players to have actual ownership over what they buy is astounding. Taking away player choice and forcing a virtual license that can be stripped away at any time for any reason without warning or even compensation has got to be one of the shittiest and greediest things I have ever seen in my life. This is nothing new from corporations, but this is totally anti-consumer, and Sony is probably the shittiest company in existence right now. And that says a lot considering Ubisoft still exists somehow, and EA was voted as the worst company in not just 2012, but also 2013. This will also kill a lot of game stores to sell these physical games, and if it doesn't outright kill them, then they for sure will raise the prices of physical copies because of the high demand from collectors. It could play out like a domino effect where Microsoft and Nintendo see Sony doing this and doubling down despite the backlash and follow in their footsteps. Then gaming as a whole is fucked and the next collapse of the industry will follow. Well, maybe not as a whole, because PC gamers on Steam have always had to go digital, but the difference there is the trust invested into Valve as a company. They have spent the last 20 or so years building trust with their customers and may have had some major hiccups here and there down the road, but still have managed to be in good graces after all this time. GOG is a great example of digital ownership because as soon as you pay for any game on that storefront, you are the rightful owner and there are no takebacks or temporary licenses you have to worry about because you own the game forever. As it should be with anything after you pay for it with your own money. Was this always inevitable? Maybe. Either way, a physical box with no disc but a game code instead sets a very firm and grim statement for the future of gaming. No longer will players, at least until the beginning of 2028 for PlayStation owners, get the choice of adding to their collection of games, or even get the chance to start to add to their collection of games. What's puzzling too is a lot of people are on board with this, even if they are a small vocal minority. But I think with the announcement of GTA 6 and a week later with the announcement of killing off physical discs that this was all planned, and Rockstar and Sony had this brewing in the witch's pot for a long while now. And they know that GTA 6 will be the biggest and hypest piece of media in history, so yeah, of course, they will throw their $80 price tag and then say, hey, for an additional $20, you can also get content in the single-player game that should have been accessible from the start, but we know you will buy it anyway, because it's GTA 6. But GTA 6 is a topic for a whole other video. It seems yesterday, July 24th, 2026, that the PlayStation Network had been down for the vast majority of the day, locking out people from playing their digital purchases. This is nothing new, but if you know one thing about Sony's track record, their network has been hacked numerous times and people have even lost their accounts as a result. So for those that truly support digital and online only, well, It's looking like this is what they, and sadly the rest of us, will have to face regularly in the foreseeable future. What saddens me about this situation too is I have been getting recommended a lot of videos from people that like to show off their hobby of collecting and playing video games, buying a CRTV and making a spot for it in their home so they can experience what gaming was like before things got so bad. It was a great time to be a gamer during the PS2 era and all the way up to the Xbox 360 era as well. But I just wanted to get my own thoughts out there in the wild that have been lingering in my brain, and while the future of gaming seems bleak, with the bad there always comes some good, so never doom or give up. Anyways, have a blessed day and stay safe out there.